Welcome back. A court fight is brewing between opposition parties and President Cyril Ramaphosa. The DA has vowed to take the president to court should the findings of an independent panel into allegations government supplied arms to Russia be kept secret. Civil society organizations have also slammed the president's decision to keep the findings under wraps. In fact, Outa CEO Wayne Duvenage joins us live right now. From where we are standing right now, the president saying, Wayne, that he will make his decision in due time. Can we afford that time?
No, we can't. This is a serious matter. You know, when you hear people like the U.S. ambassador making very strong statements, such as betting on his life that arms were loaded onto that ship from South Africa, those are strong statements, and the repercussions of that type of conduct by South Africa could bring about serious economic consequences. So it's very important that this matter is handled quickly and transparently.
And Wayne, this has business implications in as far as investment coming into the country is concerned. We were learning yesterday that the Formula One bid had been declined, and some of the reasons that were tabled were the non-alignment or the issue of Russia and South Africa and our relations thereof. I mean, how else do you see it where you're sitting?
You know, we're getting feedback from people around the world where there's an anti-South African sentiment starting to develop just in general in countries across Europe that are seeing and reading about South Africa's stance. It's a so-called non-aligned stance, but then, you know, we have dealings like this, or the Lady R ship coming into our harbors and leaving the airline, the freighter that landed here on the you know, not, I don't know if it's an excuse, but that it was delivering a diplomatic mail at Waterkloof. We have the military maneuvers off the coast, and those are all indications that this is not a non-aligned situation between South Africa and what's happening in Ukraine. This appears to be one where South Africa is very aligned to Russia's stance, and this does not bode well. So general sentiment is starting to come to the fore that countries around the world, especially our big trading partners in Europe and the USA, are not happy. And the ramifications might not be too formal right now, but they could be. But underlying them are, as we say, a number of indications that people don't want to do business here. And you might find this impacts on our tourism industry and other factors. So it's very concerning.
On the face of it, Wayne, this is problematic on so many levels. We are 3 months away from the BRICS summit taking place in August. But I imagine you as Outa have very specific things that you find uncomfortable with everything that's going on around this issue. Unpack that for us, please.
Well, you know, we've got to be very careful. You know, we're a sovereign state and we're entitled to do trade with countries that we believe we want to and can and should be able to do. But on this issue, on this specific issue, it goes a lot broader than, you know, just having a relationship with Russia through BRICS. This is about, you know, ships that are logged as being on the sanctions list and aircraft. And it's very clear that if countries are going to start trading and doing and allowing ships and vehicles that are on these lists to dock and to land and be part of trading and moving in and out of our democratic borders, then we start to open ourselves up for serious problems like the AGOA agreements, where we have trading you know, favorite deals that are in place with South Africa, and you start getting countries questioning, well, why do we do this for South Africa? Now, there are a lot of people employed in South Africa. We have an unemployment problem that cannot afford countries to pull out of this, businesses, and companies to pull out of South Africa. And those are the real risks. Some companies might make decisions from their head offices in Europe and in America to say, look, this is it, we're fed up, we're not going to trade anymore. That's their own prerogatives to do that. Every job lost is a job too many in South Africa right now. So it's that type of ramification and fallout, let alone the serious consequences of economic sanctions. And if that happens, well, I don't need to tell you the dire consequences and the economic collapse and fallout that will happen, and the dire situation that will bring to the country just in general.
In your speculation, Wayne, what would you think the president is not wanting the country to know about this matter? I almost want to use the word hide. I mean, are they hiding anything? What do you suspect?
You know what makes us very frustrated about this is that this should have been handled very swiftly. As far as I'm concerned, the president should have called every single level of management, from the defense minister down to the ports authorities in Simonstown, had them flown up, sat around the table in one day in his office in the union buildings and say, explain to me now, looking at all of them in the eye, and say, explain to me exactly what happened. I want to see the manifest, the lists, everything that went down with the ship coming in and leaving our waters and what happened. It's not rocket science. And when he looks them in the eye, say, and anything that I find out contrary to what you tell me will be not only a dismissal, but the harshest sanctions and disciplinary action taken against them. It's that easy. You cannot run a country and then have a president, going six weeks and trying to find out and get to the bottom of this type of information. It is information that should be at our fingertips and at the beck and call of the president within 24 hours, 48 hours, maximum a few days. I don't know why, when you start behaving like this and then saying we're going to keep the report secret, well, then clearly for us, there's something to hide. Unless there is serious ramifications from a security threat, which we can't understand. And if there is, keep that part of the information to one side, but tell us everything else. Were arms loaded? Were they not? What was loaded? What was the ship doing here? All of those questions should be answered within 48 hours of the incident being exposed.
And my parting shot to you, Wayne, this afternoon, obviously, as Outa, I imagine you are wanting to do something about this. What are the available options to you at the moment?
Well, the available options to us and civil society in general, and we see some organizations and the DA are looking at legal action and the courts. We need to apply our minds, so we'll be taking legal advice on whether this is something that we can go to the courts for the transparency. Remember, we've always said that transparency is the enemy of corruption. Transparency is what this country needs most, especially in times like this and in situations like this. And if we're not satisfied with the response and the answers that are provided, then we will most likely turn to the courts to assist us in obtaining the information that we require as society, as citizens of this country.
Wayne, thank you so much for engaging us this afternoon. Outa CEO Wayne Duvenage joining us now for more. Obviously, there's a lot for you as a South African that you need to question. Is the government hiding something? Why this protracted delay in releasing the information? Let's move on to this now.